You guys, the students who make this worth it. Us alumni that come in and volunteer, we're all volunteers, including us on the board, including us as the operators. None of us are being paid anything. In fact, most of us are losing money on this event just to make sure it runs. It's all worth it because we get to see you guys compete, see the heartbreak, see the eventual heart combining, I don't know, fixing, whatever it's called. See it all come together and see you guys so proud of your inventions that makes it worth it. If you see someone in a black operator vest, just give them a thank you from me, from yourself as well. Anyone in a volunteer vest as well, give them a thank you as well. And yeah, that's everything from me and the operators. Again, we really appreciate you guys. Just keep in mind the venue rules while you're here. Please try to be respectful of that. And I think that at that point, we're going to go ahead and cut to the stream and start getting ready for the 3v3 matches!
Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It is day one of the group stage. Woo. I'm Megan. This is Isaac. We have Matt doing audio, and Christian is directing here today, so big thank you to all of them.
Yeah, I'm excited. We're here in San Diego at the site itself. Really hyped to see some of the first matches of the whole year. It's been a big drought. There's been some competitions happening in the last year, but all we've seen so far are practice matches. So it's the big day where we get to see teams really bring everything and give it their all.
Absolutely, yeah. First up today, we have RHIT versus NYU. That'll be happening here in just a little bit.
Yeah, once the teams go through inspection and then make their way to the field, they'll get set up and we can get started. So, what does our lineup look this morning? What teams are we expecting to see play on the field?
First, we have RHIT versus NYU. After that, also in Group A, is UCSD versus Penn State. And then we move over to Group B after that. It'll be Purdue versus Torino with Roboto. I like their name. And then we'll end our section.
There might be one more after the next one.
Okay. With C Robotics and Oedo.
Yeah. So those are our first four matches. It's about 25 minutes scheduled in between matches. So that gives enough time to play the best of two that teams play in elimination, plus a little bit of buffer so teams can get in and out. As a reminder for the format of the tournament, there are 4 groups of teams, each with 5 teams. The way teams play in the groups is they just do a round robin. So every team plays every other team. This decides seed rankings. So based on how many matches teams win, lose, tie, that gives them a ranking. The top 2 teams from each group make it into the double elimination bracket, which happens later in the week. So every win matters here. They only get 4 games, 4 chances for each team to get those points and make it into the elimination bracket. And the majority of teams will not make it to the bracket. So it really is a competitive, almost cutthroat situation in the qualification matches.
Absolutely. This should be interesting because yesterday we watched all 4 of the teams that we just mentioned in Group B play. We saw Torino and Oedo compete against each other. We saw CU versus Purdue. But we haven't yet seen Penn State or NYU.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I don't think either of them, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think either of them were doing any calibration either. I didn't see any.
I didn't see them calibrate.
Yeah, it really, we haven't seen much of the robots this year yet, which is really exciting because we have absolutely no idea what's going to happen in the match. It could be anybody's game, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like we might have a comment over on YouTube.
Wow, 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 and then some emojis. That's awesome. Yeah, spam the emojis. We'd love to see engagement of any form, even if it's, emojis. So, yeah, I think for our first match with
RHIT and
NYU, there were some fans yesterday during practice matches of both of those teams in the chat. So if you are one of those people, you should
make
some
yourself
love.
heard.
Yeah. If you're looking for action, it seems like 1v1 is getting set up over on the co-stream. Not sure. I think UCSD is in that match, and CU is on the other side. So, yeah, some exciting stuff.
A lot of ARUW fans over there as well.
Yeah.
I saw a poster, I think it had ARUW and UCSD on it, which is a bit of a change from previous years, right? There's always been posters with CU and UCSD on it, so might be a loyalty dispute.
Yeah. They have been coupled together in their group for every RMNA, so yeah. Who knows what's going on there. But we'll get started shortly. I don't see any teams set up at the 3v3 field yet, so 1v1 is your best bet for some action. You can really tell which team has like the biggest member base just by like who's spectating, right? Like ARUW, we know is a big team. They have a lot of people.
Absolutely.
I see some Virginia Tech, some Thorn bots, some other people who aren't wearing team shirts that have something on the back, so I can't quite tell. Some CU members, obviously UCSD. So yeah, we've got our previous hosts versus our current hosts, which is kind of fun for the first match of the new tournament.
Yes.
So
do we want to check the poll and see where people are from?
Sure. That's good. Okay, so I ran a poll before the stream started asking where people were watching from, and it looks like elsewhere in USA won, which I guess isn't a surprise. That's a pretty broad set of locations.
Yeah, go ahead and comment where you're from or what team you're watching, what team you're here for. Hopefully, if you're here for UCSD or for CU, you're over watching 1v1.
We've got a comment that says, "Let's go POLITO," with a lot of O's. Love to hear it.
Awesome.
That's one of the teams we'll be seeing today. Very excited for that match. Torino is expert at developing interesting robots, I think. They've always had some interesting balancing robots. They've had really cool turret designs. So I'm excited to see what they're doing this year. Maybe they'll jump up the elevated ground. Who knows?
Yeah.
That would be cool, huh?
They held it back for the practice match, perhaps.
Yeah. Can't reveal your secrets before the real deal. You know how it goes. Let's see. Texas, Tamu, Giga Mainbots. That's 2 people for Texas A&M. And we've got Purdue as well.
Sweet.
Lots of Purdue. And another Tamu fan. Okay.
When is Texas going today? Let's check.
Tamu is doing some great outreach. Make sure to share with your friends and family that the stream has started so that they can tune in and see your robots perform, your family's robots perform, your friends' robots perform. Share it as much as you can.
All right, I'm seeing Texas A&M goes at 11:30 Pacific time.
Okay.
So
AM?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll commentate that.
Probably not PM.
Yeah, just making sure. You never know. This tournament really feels like it's a 24/7 thing, you know?
It does.
Last night, surely, actually almost certainly, many teams pulled all-nighters. Many people were up very late fixing their robots. It's what happens, especially when teams have a problem that they know they can fix and it's really close to being done. They, most students, they're used to staying up late working on, tests and finals and homework. So
what's one more all-nighter?
What's one more all-nighter, right?
Ooh.
So I think the 1v1 matches have started officially. I did hear some shooting over there. 3v3, we're still waiting on teams. The inspection process is pretty rigorous here. So every time teams go for a match, they have to get inspected. It's not a one and done at the start. Every match, they have to get inspected, which means they got to go from the pits. They got to walk all the way out to the inspection room across the building. They've got to go through 4 stations, get their robot weighed and measured, and they have to do all the different operations that a robot can do. So they have to move around and they have to fire some projectiles. And that verifies that the system that's installed on the robot, which is called the referee system, they have to make sure that's all functional, because that automatically facilitates the game that the robots play. There aren't really human referees that are giving points. The game is completely automatic, thanks to technology that exists on these robots. So they have to get inspected, make sure that all that technology works, and then they can head to the field. During that time, they're not allowed to modify the robots at all after they've done inspection. So teams tend to wait until the very last moment to go through inspection, just because they want the maximum time that they need to fix things and modify things and improve things before they get going.
Sure.
So again, for anyone who is joining us for the first time, our first match today will be RHIT versus NYU.
Still waiting on those teams to come in. It looks like there might be some movement over by that door.
Yep.
Perhaps some robots.
There we go. Thank you, Christian.
Sweet.
We've got a comment. Hosemeister, good luck to everyone today. Absolutely. We hope that every single team has every single robot working, and everything they want to achieve, they get to achieve.
Absolutely. Makes it more entertaining for us as well.
Yes.
So.
And the great thing about this competition, is that everyone gets to show something off, no matter how old their team is, or how many members they have, how much money they raise, right? The bar for entry is actually pretty friendly as far as robotics competitions go. So we always see a lot of new teams. We have several new teams this year who get to show up, as well as several veteran teams who have both members who've been around for a while and also brand new members who've joined veteran teams and are sort of carrying on what the previous members have done. So there's a lot of students. There's probably over 1,000 students who have worked on these robots, if not more.
Absolutely.
At least 200, 300 are here today. So lots of hours have gone into the robots.
Definitely.
And we really hope to see them all work.
As you mentioned, there are a lot of veteran teams here. It is the 5th year of RMNA.
Yes, it is.
As I'm aware, you were here the very first year.
I was,
How many teams are still around?
That's a good question. I don't remember exactly. So I think there were about 20, maybe a little less, 18 teams who competed in the first year. And a lot of those teams had actually competed before. They had gone internationally for tournaments, and so that this was the first time they could stay sort of local.
Okay.
But I think a lot of those teams, some of them aren't around anymore. So we might be approaching the point where about half the teams here were not at the first RoboMaster.
That's super exciting.
Yeah. That's big for the North America sort of community to be able to get that many new teams up and running. That's very exciting.
Yeah. Looks like we have a question. Is the field still being set up?
Oh, wait, hold on. Shar made the RHIT versus NYU. Credit where credit's due. We have to make corrections.
Thank you, Shar.
We're not perfect as commentators. There's a lot going on. So thank you, Shar, for making this beautiful graphic. And also setting up a lot of the beautiful graphics we see on our screen. You can see it's San Diego themed and UCSD themed. We've got palm trees over there.
Yonder.
Yeah. Nice.
The field is not still being set up. It is fully set up. We were just waiting for the teams to head on. So, they're exposing our school.
So yeah, we are both C Robotics. I'm a C Robotics alum. She is a C Robotics member. We both go to CU. She's from Colorado. So yeah, it's our team. But I promise you, as commentators, we are not overly biased.
And you're from California.
I'm from California.
So kind of home territory.
And yeah, UCSD may be my favorite team, not CU. So, but we'll leave our biases, to the side.
I think CU and UCSD just walked out after their 1v1 practice round.
Oh,
So
wow. No, that was a real round.
they didn't.
That
Oh, it was a real
practice.
round.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
yeah.
No practice for.
That was the first game of
1v1.
the real game of the
Okay.
tournament. Yeah.
Awesome.
So,
Well, they couldn't hear us
Nope.
being biased towards or against them.
Good.
So.
Yeah, we can be harsh on our own team. Make them earn our praise.
Loyalty.
Yes. Well, praise to every other team by default. CU needs to earn it because otherwise we'll be too biased. So.
True. I guess there are still some CU members back there. All right,
So
let's
it
see.
looks like Rose Holman has made it to the field. Would you like to describe some of the robots that we're seeing?
Yeah, absolutely. So we can see the loading mechanism kind of looks like a ball machine. That's pretty cool.
Which
Shows
robot is this?
the hero.
Yeah.
And then we can see the standard as well. Looks like they have a nice cover for the ball
Yep.
holding area. What is that called?
Yeah, the hopper is
The
one,
hopper.
is one word people use.
We have the Omni wheels. Pretty neat. Wheels on wheels. Okay, and now we have the Sentry. So for anyone who's not aware, this is fully autonomous. This robot drives itself. There's no driver in the pit room.
Yep. And so that's an exponentially harder challenge because not only do you need to do hardware and low-level embedded stuff, but you also need high-level autonomy with unguided movement and decision-making. There's a lot of data that the robots can get from the field itself. It's kind of a smart field. So information about the game is streamed to the robots, and especially the Sentry, the autonomous robot, can use that to
Yeah, as
do a
they
lot.
walk in, maybe we'll catch a glance of some of like the QR code
Yeah.
things.
We are
There
officially
we
in
can
the
see
setup
in the
period.
back. You can see the A. So that's one of the locations that gives the Sentry information.
Yeah. So we've got a poll going on right now. You can predict who's going to win this match. Will it be RHIT on the red side, or will it be NYU on the blue side? Spend your channel points. If you make a correct prediction, you'll get more back than you put in. So have some fun with it. And let's see who the audience thinks will take this one.
All right, are these NYU's robots now?
Yes, they are.
Okay, so we have yet to see these ones.
This looks like the standard. Some awesome sponsored logos on there. We'd love to see it. We've got you can see the camera view. Here's the hero.
I like how you can see everything that's going on.
Yeah, and there's a logo of NYU's team. Very tall hero, so maybe this robot will be able to look over the elevated ground and fire at the enemy robots.
Yeah, a couple new challenges this year compared to last year. We have now speed bumps. So we haven't seen NYU's robots over those bumps or on the ramp yet.
Yeah.
Let's see if they try to approach those obstacles.
Also seems like NYU is fielding 2 robots, which you are allowed to do. You only need to field 2 robots in the 3v3 tournament. They don't have a Sentry on the field, so that's actually not that big of a deal because most Sentries aren't, the bar is so high for a Sentry that if you really spend all your time making 2 really good robots, that can be better than splitting to 3 robots. Yeah, so that's actually it could work out for them if they spent their engineering time.
So we're seeing some movement.
It's good from Rose Holman.
Yeah.
Working robots, you'd love to see it.
Big fan.
Yeah.
Makes an exciting match.
So this is a Group A match. This is the group with both these teams, RHIT, and NYU, as well as UW, UCSD, and PSU. So only 2 of the teams that I listed will make it into the elimination bracket. And so these teams will be fighting for every single point they can get. The teams will play 2 rounds.
Tomorrow, yeah.
If they go 1-1, both teams win a round. They each get 1 point towards their seed ranking. If either team go 2-0 in a blowout, they get 3 points towards their seed ranking. So they're really incentivized for not only getting one win, but getting both. Looks like the match is about to start here. People are leaving the field. We're about to get going our first match of the tournament.
Three, two, one. Bring the bots on.
Heck yeah.
So they're probably buying some projectiles right now.
And here
Seeing
we
some
see
movement.
RHIT is going to send their robots out as well as NYU. So the teams do have to spend some time buying projectiles at the start of the match. They don't start with any, but once they get some, they can get going. RHIT takes the lead, holding the center point. And now all the way up to 10 points. Reminder, they need 200 points to win the match.
Yeah, for anyone who wasn't on yesterday, so that central buff point with the crown.
There's some fighting going on. The standard of Rose Holman is firing at the NYU hero, doing some serious damage.
Yeah, we can see that health bar dropping.
Well, actually, no, that looks like Rose Holman's sentry is shooting the hero of Rose Holman, killing it. The first blood goes to Rose Holman's sentry on Rose Holman's hero. Congratulations for the self-kill. Now, the hero's got to get out of there because the sentry's gone mad, attacking its own team.
The sentry. Oh, boy.
So NYU did get 20 points from that kill. So
Wow.
NYU does have points on the board despite not having any
It
control
looks
of the
like
center
the RHIT standard just leveled up by sitting in the central buff point.
Yeah. So the sentry sees the opponent hero across the map and is firing projectiles, hitting some against the hero. That's very impressive. That sentry can
NYU's
see
hero back
over.
to the resupply zone.
Yeah.
Some more health.
Smart move after taking
Might
some
be
damage
buying
both from
some
the
more
standard and the sentry.
projectiles. Yeah, RHIT has some pretty good control over that central point. It's either racking in 1 point per second just by being in that central zone.
Yeah. So they're already up to 100 points, which is halfway what they need to win the match. NYU can still come back if they contest the center point, push them off of it, and get on to the green square themselves.
Okay, we have RHIT's standard has gone back to the resupply zone, but did not get eliminated by the sentry. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Looks like the sentry is focused on looking over the elevated ground. The hero of NYU is no longer moving, and neither is the standard, which is taking some damage from hot shots across the field. Those are hitting the robot, but because the robot is in the resupply zone,
It's
it
rebuilding
regains
health
very
faster.
rapidly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can't really eliminate a robot while it's in that box. Here comes the hero back for more ammo. It gets by the sentry. It's unscathed. Absolutely no problems. And it's going to make its way back. So RHIT seems to be able to take this match. They're only about 15 points away. So congratulations on the first round going to RHIT. As we see a level up on that stage.
Yeah. All right.
There we have it.
And that is a win for RHIT. Sweet.
Now we're up 1-0 in this series. Reminder, we do have another round. They play best of 2. So there is a chance for NYU to come back and bring this 1-1, which will take a potential of 2 seed points away from RHIT.
Right. Question about the match schedule. This is up on rmsandiego.com.
Yep, that's rmsandiego.com.
This will have a list of the schedule in the group stage, as well as the elimination bracket when that comes out. And then we also have a list of all the teams.
So here's stats from the round. as you can see, Rose Holman gets the 200 points required to win. NYU found 20 points thanks to the RHIT Sentry eliminating the RHIT hero. A little bit of self-damage there.
Yeah.
So hopefully RHIT can resolve that. Maybe make it so that their robot either doesn't have the line of sight to shoot the hero, or maybe use the color of the armor plates.
Right. A huge thank you to all of our volunteers who are out there helping with field cleanup before the second round. Looks like the next round will start in about 2 minutes. So what are your predictions for this next round? What do you think we're gonna see?
I think we'll see the Sentry from RHIT not eliminate its own team, and I think we'll see the hero from NYU come out and maybe fire some projectiles. And also, you know, my opinion is one thing, but it's the internet, so we can collect data from from anyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
I made a poll before the round started asking who we think is going to win the series, and according to the poll, RHIT is the fan favorite with 780 cubes or points used towards this team. So far that prediction seems to be paying off. We'll see if it closes out. And if so, the people who voted for that will get some fake points to do
whatever they want.
Whatever they want with, yeah.
Absolutely. All right, we're starting to see some of the team members leave the arena.
So there you can see actually the LiDAR of RHIT's Sentry was spinning. Yeah, so that's the sort of dome, black circle, cylinder shaped thing.
The left side.
Off on the left-hand side. That gives the Sentry, the autonomous robot, the ability to see where it's going, see obstacles, avoid things. It's a very important part of any autonomous robot.
Looks like we have an ARUW versus University of Alberta 1v1 match going on. If you are from one of those teams, go look over there on the other channel.
So we're about to get started with the second round of RHIT versus NYU in just a few seconds.
The very first match of the group stage.
3, 2, 1. Go.
It looks like we are on a GoPro right now.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. So RHIT is going to take control of the center zone. They're going to hold it, start collecting points as usual. And the hero as well buys 5 projectiles and is going to join the standard of RHIT, which itself has 150 projectiles. It seems like both NYU robots are still yet to move. RHIT is hitting some pot shots across the field into the NYU reload zone. Unfortunately, that damage is not going to stick. They are healing it back very quickly.
But it looks like it got the RHIT hero a level up. So maybe that's what they're going for.
That's actually a really smart move. Yeah. So doing damage, even if it doesn't eliminate the robot, does give you XP, which will help you level up. So the standard is going to go back and presumably buy some more projectiles. There we go. While the hero
does some circles in the center.
So that hero is a very tall robot. You can see it's got a big neck, and the goal there presumably is to be able to shoot over obstacles. So there's the raised
such as
ground.
the small wall that you can see right down the middle, or the ramps and elevated ground.
Yep. That allows the robot to basically be invincible because its plates, the parts of the robot that inflict damage, are down at the bottom. So if you can hide behind something that's short, the bottom plates are covered, where you can, but the driver and the robot can still see over the obstacle.
We saw that yesterday during one of the practice rounds.
Yes.
Was that Purdue?
I don't remember which team it was. I think there are multiple teams trying to do this.
But we saw it be successful yesterday.
Yeah.
During the practice round. So definitely a strategy that teams can use.
Yes, the Purdue standard did get a lot of shots against the CU Sentry in using that method.
Definitely.
So it seems like the hero of NYU did fire a shot, but the hero of RHIT is hitting multiple shots on NYU's standard from across the map. That is 3 in a row.
There's another level up.
Very precise projectile launcher on that robot, able to line up and fire on a small armor plate.
Yeah.
So the hero still does have 14 more shots, so we'll see if they try some more hot shots to level up.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, so that one was a little high. Hopefully that does not hit some humans outside the field.
Yeah.
Hits another, levels up.
Another level up.
There we go. That's 1. That's 2. It might be possible for this robot to take out the standard while the standard is inside the healing zone, provided they can get a big burst off. Right. They hit multiple shots in a row.
Right.
Looks like they're just gonna have some fun on the bumps. Casually flexing. There we go.
Oh.
The first
and
series
we see the
of
RHIT standard.
the first series of RoboMaster San Diego goes to RHIT.
There we go.
Congratulations to RHIT and to NYU for showing up and playing a great first match.
Yeah, we can see that RHIT got some damage in there. No kills, but they did get off a lot of damage.
Yeah. So I guess luckily for RHIT, they resolved the issues with their sentry, where it was firing at their teammates. Not sure how they fixed that. Maybe they just turned off the sentry. Maybe they did some upgrades, some last-second upgrades. It's always surprising how fast teams can make improvements in the during the 2-minute setup period. So.
Yes. So we're seeing these robots come out of the arena. Let's see. Up next, we have UCSD versus Penn State. This will be in about 10 minutes. Seems like a fair estimate.
Yep. So
we're
going to make another prediction
up on the Twitch.
Let's see. Who are the teams?
UCSD and Penn State.
Okay. Thank you, Shar, at the director's booth for putting that up on screen. So I think which team is on the top? That would be UCSD. So they're probably on red team. All right, so that prediction is up. The audience can now wager their cubes on who's going to win the series. This is going to be an interesting one. What do you know about these teams?
We've seen UCSD. We have not yet seen Penn State, so I don't know. I know that UCSD always has fun-colored robots. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so UCSD is a long-standing team. They've been here well before RoboMaster North America was a thing. So they've got a lot of experience. Penn State also has a lot of experience. And so this might just be a match of, I think traditional designs where teams have been able to hone something over a long period of time and get it down.
Sure.
And so, yeah, I expect to see a lot of work from both standards because the standard is kind of like the bread and butter and is sort of historically the best robot on a RoboMaster squad. So I would expect their standards to be really good.
Right. Let's see, what do the people think?
Yeah. You see the prediction. Oh, so far it's pretty even. We've got 170 cubes on UCSD versus 100 on PSU. UCSD, obviously. Oops, sorry. There are hosts. So Thank you to UCSD for hosting. Maybe that gives us a little bias towards them, just for us being in the building.
Just for being so thankful for them for hosting.
Yeah.
For sure.
Let's see, we've got a comment. NYU got their robots delivered 3 days late. Oh, man. So we heard about that. A lot of teams had shipping problems. It looks like NYU was one of them. Not much you can do about that when your robot arrives right before your match. So
Yeah.
understandable that they were having some trouble during their series.
It looks like their next match is at 12:30 or 12:20, probably around 12:30. So we'll see if they can make any fixes to those robots in the next few hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I would totally expect, if that's what happened and they showed up late, I would totally expect them to scale as time goes on.
Definitely.
Get better.
Definitely.
Just because now they actually have the time to, you know, fix anything that broke in shipping and
Right.
get everything set up and all that.
Right.
And that's very common. Teams, a lot of times, when you're shipping a robot, things break.
Especially from far away. That's
Yes,
all the way across
farther away you
country.
are, yes.
Yes.
And jet lag is a factor. You know, teams that are further away, especially international teams, there's a big factor where their robots are like more broken from shipping and they're more jet lagged. So
Right.
it's kind of impressive how well they can still do despite traveling
Yeah.
so far and having to deal with all that.
Absolutely.
Some more water. Very thirsty. So what are you expecting from these teams now that I've told you a little bit about them?
I'm expecting to see some of their standards out in the central area, the central buff point.
Yep.
Getting some projectiles off.
So we see the teams getting set up on the field. They are bringing their robots into position. Good news, that means the setup period has started. So we will be beginning our match just
See
about
the
2.5 minutes.
fun-colored robots from UCSD.
Oh yeah, rocking the team colors. So
I'm a big fan of that. You can see some of the sponsors, I believe, on the back of that standard.
So our prediction did come through. We've got 63% of the vote went to UCSD versus 37 to PSU. So pretty even. I think that matches my expectations. Could probably go either way.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Penn State's robots.
Yeah. So we do see UCSD fielding 3 robots. That the one with the very long horns and the light bar in the back on the right, that's the Sentry. This one we're looking at, that's the Hero. So their full fleet is available, and it looks like their Sentry is in a position to move. So I'm kind of excited to see if it goes somewhere.
Yeah.
Now on Penn State's side, they're also fielding 3 robots. Looks like a similar setup. 1 Sentry, 1 Hero, 1 Standard, as is required by the game rules.
Right.
And similarly, this one is interesting. So now they actually have a slightly different arrangement. And
They've got their Sentry in the back.
But yeah, so I think we should be able to see some good driving here. As always, remember, at the start of the match, teams' robots will not initially move unless they're the autonomous robot, because they have to collect ammo. They have to buy ammo from the shop, and that means they have to open a menu and click through some buttons. So, you know, doesn't mean the robot is not working if it doesn't move immediately. Every robot, besides the autonomous robots, have to buy ammo, and that takes some time.
Right. Looks like that countdown is at about 10 seconds.
Seems like there was a technical timeout, so UCSD's team is off the field, but Penn State gets a little bit more time just to check things, make sure everything is all good. Technical timeouts are usually called by the refs, but the teams do get 1 5-minute timeout that they can call during the qualification rounds, so not sure if we can tell what happened here. But either way, Penn State is using this extra time. So here's a look at our beautiful field. As you can see in the center, there's a green square with a crown, very pointy crown. That is the objective of the game. The goal is to hold that point, which means have more robots on your team occupy than the other team. Doing so will give you 1 point per second. First team to 200 points wins. Getting an elimination on a robot also gives you 20 points.
Yeah, we can see that in the bottom here with the tips.
3, 2, 1.
Bring the bots on.
Bring the bots. So it looks like both teams have
We can see
bought
the standards.
some projectiles, and they are going to move at the same time to the center of the arena. We've got an early fight going on for center control. The hero of UCSD also going to join the standard. UCSD will take early control of the point, accruing the first points of the game.
We're not seeing any projectiles yet.
Not quite yet.
There we go.
UCSD gets a few hits on that Penn State standard retreating. Looking probably to get some more health, maybe some more projectiles. You see there's a reloader who's using a ladle to put more physical projectiles in the robot. Now that's independent of how much the robot actually has in the game. UCSD keeps this commanding lead, now approaching 50 points, using that high spin rate to sort of just chill and sit and keep control.
Absolutely.
Warding off any Penn State activity.
Seeing Penn State peek around that wall. A few more projectiles.
Yep. And the sentry of UCSD has moved out of the starting zone, so it is searching in a search pattern, presumably for any blue robots. That hero from UCSD also supporting just from a little bit further away. It's taking sort of a defensive position.
Oh, there we go. It's moving.
Oh yeah, the hero from PSU is going to go contest UCSD's lead here, but it does not have any
look
ammo.
like it has any ammo. Yeah.
That's a good call.
Let's see if they can.
It's kind of bluffing,
Oh.
huh? It's like, hey, I'm here. You should leave.
Right.
I'm a threat. Right. UCSD's
see
going to
if
fire
that-
some pot shots, but they don't hit. So by actually sitting on this point, Penn State can start accruing points away from UCSD if they get both robots on the zone. Does not look like the Penn State robot wants to get on the zone.
But
There we
UCSD
go.
has brought the other one.
Yeah. Now it's a 2v2 in the center. It's a brawl. Penn State still has not gained the
We're
strict
seeing
advantage.
the Penn State standard just looking all over the place.
I don't think either team can shoot, or maybe they just don't want to. Oh, there we go. There's a few shots from UCSD's standard onto the standard of Penn State.
That was the hero. Just hanging out in that central buff zone.
Yep. See some. This is like a big party, I think. In the
Yeah.
middle of but UCSD does have slight control just because that standard from Penn State is slightly outside of the zone.
Right.
So they can't really
Yeah, that
contest
standard is leveling up.
it. If only they moved a few inches closer, they would be even. There we go. So now it's UCSD about to win the first round.
There we go.
So by using the objective, they're able to accrue 1 point per second. So after 200 seconds of being on that center point, they're able to win the round. So now the teams will be given an opportunity to get back on the field for 3 minutes to reset their robots, get things set up, and do another round.
So I believe that central buff zone is first come, first serve. So even if there were 2 robots from each team.
Yeah, the one that holds it keeps it until they leave.
Right, right.
But if there were 2 so the robot from UCSD, the hero was kind of moving on and off. So there was a chance there for Penn State to get both robots on the point. And then if there was only 1 robot from UCSD, yes, on the on that point, that would be a 2 versus 1 advantage, and so they would gain the point back. They would have to hold that advantage for 2 seconds, so there's a 2-second timer. They never had that advantage because UCSD had 2 robots, and like you said, in a tie,
it's first come, first
it's
serve.
first come, first serve, so whoever has ownership keeps ownership. But you do not have to get all the enemy team robots off the point to gain control of it. You just need to have a majority over the enemy team for 2 seconds. Equally, you also get a 2-second grace period, so when a robot leaves the zone, it still counts as being on the zone for 2 seconds. 2 additional seconds. So teams have about 1 minute, 45 seconds left to reset their robots. Let's see if Penn State makes any changes. We'll see if UCSD makes any changes. On the right-hand side.
Pilot view.
Yep. So we can see what the drivers see. 2 of the 3 robots on each team are teleoperated. They have an operator who sits in a sort of guarded off section called a room, each on opposite sides of the field. They can't actually see this top-down view that we get to see on the live stream. It's just from the robot's perspective, so it's a lot more constrained. This is Penn State side. You can see their POV.
Got about 30 seconds till round 2 starts.
Now, the humans are going to be required to get off the field. However the robots are, whether they're working or not, that's how they're going to be for the match. Perfect isn't possible, so sometimes teams have to contend with the fact that things aren't exactly as they want them, but they also had some time to work with them.
Right.
So after this referee system initialization period where the robots connect and sync with the field, we'll get started. In 3, 2, 1, bring the bots. So again, we see the teams buy projectiles, and the hero from Penn State is going to take the early capture of the objective, and it looks like their standard is going to join them, and now they will have the 2-on-1 lead.
Got the UCSD standard peeking in.
Yeah, UCSD
the
standard.
Hero.
Oh, it took some damage from Penn State, so Penn State did fire back at UCSD. And now, UCSD cannot get any points unless their sentry comes out to the center and joins them for a 3v2 on the point, or they push one of the Penn State robots off the point, whether that's by getting them low and making them retreat, or by just eliminating them outright. Yeah. So Penn State will also be careful here not to accidentally leave the point for 2 seconds, because if they do and the UCSD robots are able to get on the point, they will be able to take control of that point. So it is kind of just a brawl. I don't think many teams are able to shoot But you can see from UCSD there is some autonomous aiming.
There we go.
It is going to do some damage to the hero of Penn State.
Appears.
So yeah, so Penn State has the lead. They're up to about 80 points, and that's just because they have the numbers advantage on the point. They took it first before UCSD could get in there. Smartly, their hero was able to just drive out there without collecting any ammo at all. So it kind of just decided, let's take the point, let's get the, gain the control. And so now, yeah, UCSD can't do anything until they gain the numbers advantage on that green zone. That is the deciding factor here.
It's like the robots might be talking to each other from that pilot view. Some head nodding.
Yeah. They're like, hey, leave. It's my turn. So now you can see all 4 robots are on the field. Penn State has to be very careful not to accidentally leave the field for 2 seconds. If one of the robots does, then UCSD will have the numbers advantage in that green zone and will be able to start accruing points. Now, Penn State is already up to 130 points. They need 200 to win. UCSD will do a little bit of damage to the hero of Penn State. Take it down just a bit more, but they need to eliminate it in order to truly get it off the objective here. That is the goal. Penn State up to 155 points. Now 160. They just need 40 more seconds of control in order to win this round and bring it to a 1-1 in the series.
Looks like the Penn State hero might have just taken some more damage.
The Penn State hero did take some more damage from UCSD, but not quite enough to get eliminated. Penn State now up to 180 points. 20 more seconds of this, and the series will go 1-1. By going 1-1, this denies UCSD 2 more points on top of the one they've already earned for winning the first round, and gives Penn State a point towards their seed ranking.
Right, and then it would be 1 point for each of them.
Yes. There we go. It's a victory for Penn State in round 2. The series goes 1-1. Both teams getting a point towards their seed ranking in Group A. So congratulations to both of them. And good job, Penn State, for coming up with a new strategy. That strategy of getting to the objective first, gaining the numbers advantage, and holding it in order to win that round. So on the stats, you can see UCSD did more damage. They did 90 versus Penn State's 50. Although, neither was enough to eliminate a robot, so it didn't really do much in the end. But yeah, 30 projectiles shot by UCSD, 44 by Penn State. This kind of matches roughly what the prediction said. The prediction was roughly even, and we ended up with an even result.
Right.
So, yeah, we've got a competitive matchup between these two teams. So next up, what's our next match, Megan?
We have Purdue versus Torino. So this is moving over to Group B. We'll have Purdue versus Torino, followed by CU and Owedo.
So both the teams that we just saw were in Group A, as well as the first two teams we saw in the first match of the tournament. Mm-hmm. Now we're moving to Group B. Who's in Group B, Megan?
In Group B, we have Purdue, Owedo, Torino, CU Robotics, as well as Virginia Tech. So
that's a pretty insane group.
Yes.
Lots of action to see there. So I'm really excited for the next two matches that are coming up.
Saw yesterday some people were ranking the groups in the comments of the Twitch.
Yes.
So exciting.
Very exciting. If you're rooting for one specific team, shout it out in the chat. Let's see it. Whoever gives us the most engagement will have our bias for the rest of the tournament. That's how it works. I make the rules. So neither team won. So I actually don't know what to do with this prediction.
Yeah.
I think UCSD had slightly bigger stats, all being said, so I'm going to give it to UCSD. Going forwards, I will give a tie option. see. So our next matchup is what?
Our next matchup is Purdue versus Torino.
Okay. What are you expecting from these teams?
We saw both of them in the practice matches yesterday. We saw quite a bit of strategy coming out of Purdue.
Yes, we did.
Remind me, Torino, what did we see from them yesterday?
We didn't see much. I don't think they came out for practice matches, at least on the 3v3 field. However, historically, we have seen that they have balancing robots, and they have sort of a unified design language across their whole fleet. They share a lot of designs with themselves, which is a good plan. Mm-hmm. Some teams, they like to design each robot independently, and that gives the students the ability to sort of like think out of the box, and sometimes you get really good new ideas from that. And then on the other side of the coin, there's teams that like make all their robots nearly identical as much as possible.
Right,
so.
Right.
Jet408 says, gotta start cranking the channel points. That is correct. These matter. Use the predictions to gain channel points as fast as you can. Doing so will net you more channel points, which you can use to get more channel points. And you can use the channel points to do some stuff in chat. So you can be really obnoxious if you win a lot of bets and then you send a bunch of like, you know, hyper bolded messages using your channel points. I think that could be a good strategy to get our attention.
Do we still have that poll open earlier from where people are watching from?
Mm-hmm. Well, it ended, so.
Oh, it ended.
Yeah. In chat, we've got a go, go, go POLITO. More Torino fans. This is the match for Torino. Torino versus Purdue. These are both teams who have shown out and done some pretty cool stuff. Purdue, obviously, hosts of the Midwest competition, as I've mentioned before. Right. They clearly have a lot of runtime. They like to practice with their robots a lot. They invite people out to their campus to, you know, run some scrim matches. So I would expect to see them field some really cool working robots, which we did see already yesterday in practice matches. That standard, not only really highly functional, it was able to fire accurately across half the distance of the field, which is probably about 5-6 meters. And not only that, it had really fast, really precise movement, and a really smart driver and team who were able to constantly rethink what they were doing and come up with new strategies mid-match.
Definitely.
I want to see more of that. I want to see their whole fleet working together. They only fielded 2 robots in practice, so we didn't get to see the whole thing. Torino, we haven't seen it all, so I'm really excited to learn what their robots look like.
I think we did see them yesterday.
Oh, did we? Oh, we did. Sorry. Torino versus Oedo, that's right. That was a close one as well.
You can see the team start to bring their robots onto the field.
Gonna get them set up. So we can see both teams, I think, are fielding a full set of 3 robots each, if I'm not mistaken. This will give them the opportunity not only to deal the most pressure, sort of, you know, projectile-wise, but also have as many robots as possible occupy the center zone.
Right.
Which, as we just saw in the previous match, is very important. If either team can get their standard or their sentry out onto the center zone, that's just one more robot that goes towards that occupation. Obviously, we might see some pressure due to combat, which might change the numbers a little bit. You know, they might not just sit there. We see some referees on the field. There's one on each side. Thank you to our amazing referees for getting teams set up, getting their robots scanned into the field. This is a smart field. There's a lot of tech that goes on. There's tech mounted to the robots themselves with those armor plates and light bars and a bunch of internal modules which do a lot of obscure things. And there's also lots and lots of computers and servers and routers field side that connect to the robots. And so there is a step of sort of synchronization at this setup period where teams turn on their robots and then they connect them to the field, and it takes some time to sync. So looks like most humans are off the field. There are still a few on each side doing some double checks, getting things ready. That blue POLITO robot is not all the way in the center point, but once the drivers have control of the robot, they can drive them around and get them in the position that they need to be.
Looks like that's the sentry. There we go.
That is the sentry. There we go. So it's inside the blue box, ready to start the match. This is the referee system initialization period where the robots get connected and ready, and once the loading bar hits 100%, we will get the match started. 3, 2, 1, bring the bots!
on.
So the sentry for Roboto is going to go out first while the teams buy projectiles, and it's going to take a somewhat defensive stance on the bumps following a search pattern. You hear some firing from the standard of Purdue firing at the sentry.
Also hanging out on the bumps.
The sentry from Roboto is going to make its way to the center as well, as does the hero. Purdue still only has one robot out in the center zone. So what we're going to see is
the hero
take
from
the point.
POLITO out in the middle.
So they're going to start collecting points. They're now all the way up to 10. Reminder, they need 200 to win. They get 1 point per second. And it seems like these teams are eager to kill. So if there are any eliminations, that nets a team an immediate 20 points. The sentry from Roboto taking some damage across the map from the standard of Purdue, as well as the hero, but not quite enough to retreat. So let's see here if Purdue can push the hero back for more health. It may give it the opportunity to push even further, maybe contest that standard. I have not seen the Roboto sentry fight back yet.
We're seeing the Torino robot up on the ramp, approaching the starting zone for Purdue.
And now from Purdue, we have a second robot out into the fight. That's the hero in the #1 plates. It's going to join and tag out for the standard. Does not have any ammo, so it's not going to be able to do any firing, but it can act as a body.
Right. Intimidation.
Intimidation. We do see some shots from both standards firing at each other about 4 meters apart. Not hitting any shots. That is quite a long distance for a fight, especially when teams have spinning robots.
Right.
But the blue team is going to get some damage on the hero of Purdue. Roboto taking a commanding lead about halfway to victory. They just need to hold on to the point for a little bit longer, and they will win the round. It seems like that sentry from Roboto has stopped moving. It's luckily not in too vulnerable of a position. The other two robots from that squad are a little bit further up.
Looks like the standard for Purdue is getting some more ammo.
Yep.
Heading back into the fight.
So hopefully able to make a dent. It is going to fire and get some shots off.
On the hero, yeah.
Yeah. There we go. But the presence of Roboto over that choke point is a little too strong.
This Roboto standard is not scared at all.
No. He's going up for it, and he's going to pay for it. He's going to take 2/3 of his health. Now the hero from Roboto is at half health. Both robots low. One of them is going to have to retreat at some point, or Purdue can start coming back in this match. The standard from Purdue is going to push out, do some
Peeking.
more damage to the hero. Both are low. Both Roboto
Seeing
robots
the
are at less
spark
than
from the
1/3
hero.
of their health. And the standard is going to retreat. That's a first blood from the Purdue robot. It's going to take control of the center point, stop Roboto from getting the easy win. They're going to do damage to the sentry. If they can get a kill there, they'll get another 20 points. And here goes the hero retreating to get some health. It does have a period of invulnerability. But the Roboto standard does get the kill and
again.
gets another 20 points.
Double kill.
That's a double kill from
They've
the
now-
standard of Purdue. That's 60 points alone from kills, and that's another, 10 points already from holding the center point. So now it's on Roboto to bring back this game. They have to get those two Purdue robots off the center point. Does Purdue
This will
have
be-
enough time?
Yeah, this will be interesting.
I don't think they have enough
50
time
seconds?
to win the match unless they get some kills. So now,
We've seen them do it 3 times so far.
yeah, Purdue does
Could
have
do
to
it
get some
again.
kills in order to get what they want out of this match. There is not enough time on the timer for them to gain enough points passively through this center point.
Seeing Polito's standard come back into the fight.
And the standard of Purdue is going to move back, get some ammo. It's going to come back, try and get some kills. There's 10 seconds left in the match. It is possible if it can get some kills. Oh, but the hero is killed by its own standard.
Wow.
So that first round does go to Roboto in a relatively close match, I will say.
Yeah.
Roboto took the initial lead by putting their robots
In the central buff
on the
zone.
central point first before Purdue could get out. And they also held it by not taking enough damage from Purdue, although Purdue did eventually buy some more ammo, come back, and get a triple kill. Each robot, the sentry died once, and the hero of Roboto died twice. That accounts for 60 of their points. The rest they got from the point.
Yeah, this is interesting looking at the stats here because damage and kills, Purdue had more, but just by controlling that central zone, Polito was able to just take the win.
So let's see. Let's catch up on chat. I see Let's Go VT. Let's Go Polito. Let's Go Roboto. Go, go, go Polito. Lots of Polytechnic, Montreal. Lots of Roboto fans in the chat. We've got one Purdue. Please, what is happening? So, seems to me like Purdue does have a chance to bring this back and go 1-1 just like the previous game. What I would expect to see out of them is for that standard to do what it does best. It's really good at firing accurate bursts. So if it can just get a few eliminations earlier in the round, like they did at the end of last round, I think they'll be able to take control of the center point, park that hero on the zone, and pretty much hold it until the end of the match. What do you think?
Yeah, that would be interesting to see. I think they can do it.
I am with you. I have faith. But also, Roboto showing an impressive strategic showing there, immediately bringing robots out. Their sentry,
Yeah, their sentry
moved to a very
on the
good
go.
position autonomously. Remember, that robot does not have a driver, so it must know where it is and must be able to drive out and defend without any assistance from any humans during the match. So that was good. I think Roboto could also, if they are looking to close this out, what they should do, in my opinion, is something very similar. Drive out, take control of the center point, avoid taking damage. Knowing that Purdue has one robot that can, deal a lot of damage and get eliminations, they have to be careful of that. But I think if they get good with rotations, maybe swapping robots in and out as they take damage, they can avoid, taking any substantial damage that would lead to a death. And just by doing those rotations, they can sort of hold the center point.
Right.
They just need to not let that standard from Purdue
Deal enough damage to get a kill.
Yeah, get kills, basically. It's okay to retreat. Don't let it kill you, because then there's nothing you can do, and you'll start snowballing. You give them 20 points each time you die, which is a lot. We saw them gain an easy 60 points just
through
from
those
eliminations last game. So that's a whole minute of sitting on the point, right? That's
right.
So now it's the referee system initialization period. We're about to get started. All humans are off the field. Let's count it down. 3, 2, 1. Bring the bots. So we're going to see, it looks like something similar. Purdue is going to get to the center point first. They're going to take control.
Standard.
That's exactly what they needed to do. So now they're accruing points. The standard from Roboto is going to match them, but they do not have
Peek
control
behind
of
the wall.
The standard from Purdue is going to hit some shots on that POLITO standard from across the map. And they are pushing the sentry. POLITO is pushing their sentry using the hero. Seems like they're going to try and get the numbers advantage by pushing it to the center point. Let's see if that works out for them. Some damage taken on Purdue. Looks like the POLITO standard is functional with that shooter.
Right.
It's now a 2 versus 1 in the center. If they just stand on that green square, they will take control. There is no need to kill the robot. There they go. They have 2 robots on the center. Purdue is going to deal some damage to the hero, but not quite enough to get it killed. It does level up, so now it's going to be even stronger. And the
that standard is dropping
from,
hell.
Yeah.
Damage
That
being
standard is
dealt both
very
ways.
low. First blood. That is a first blood. The standard of Purdue doing what it does best and getting a kill. That's 23 points. The hero is also low, going to retreat, try and get some health, but not quite in time. The standard takes it out. Now the standard of POLITO is back. It does have some invincibility time, but not quite enough, it looks like, to get away. So now the standard from Purdue has an opportunity to get another 20 points. Not quite. It is going to make it back, get some more ammo, get some more health. Both robots from POLITO are going to get a second chance at this. Purdue is now at 138 points, 140 points. So only about 55 seconds left needed to win the match. And they're going to go back and get some ammo. So POLITO is going to get a chance. Yeah, they're going to be able to control the center point here. So now POLITO is getting some points. Purdue taking a gamble, getting more ammo in exchange for giving up the point. Now a fight is going to ensue. POLITO taking a lot of damage, low but not quite dead. And there's an elimination. Purdue gains another 20 points and is going to continue to contest the center point. Roboto still has control until this robot dies or leaves for 2 seconds. Purdue cannot take control back.
Double kill!
There's a double kill. It's another 20 points. They now need 18 points more to win. They can get that either from a kill or by holding the center point for 20 seconds. So now it looks like they're
now
lining
they're
up
starting
another
to get points from that central buff zone.
And both POLITO robots are going to retreat, which is going to give Purdue passively the win unless they can get back really fast, get the kill, get the robot off the point.
Right.
Looks like Purdue is going to take this.
It's a 1v1.
Purdue wins the second round of the series. Teams go 1-1, like you said. Congratulations to both teams for taking a point off each other. They each get 1 seed ranking point in their group. Very interesting outcome, I have to say. Almost a polar opposite of last game. Purdue this time had initial control, whereas last game Roboto had initial control. It seems like being the first one to the center has a lot of advantages in this game.
Absolutely.
Let's see some comments. Unlucky, Purdue was way too passive, but I don't know if that's robot or pilot error though. Well, seems like they learned from that and were able to take the second round.
Right.
I think that's some Italian spawn kill I recognize. There are a lot of frames being dropped. I think we're working on that. Exciting match. Purdue Standard looking fast as heck in the second round. That's for sure. They definitely were really good at getting those rotations, even in a 1v2, 1v3 situation.
Right.
They were able to hold, control over the center point. Definitely a lot of that can be attributed to the speed of that drivetrain.
Absolutely.
They really knew, like at the start, they bought ammo and were like, okay, I'm going to the center. I'm taking control before the team from Italy can seize it. By the way, big shout out to Roboto for traveling all the way out here from Italy to compete in RoboMaster North America, all the way on the West Coast in San Diego. And big shout out as well to Purdue for traveling across the country to do the same.
Right.
Let's give us the rundown, Megan. Who is up next?
Up next, we have CU versus Oedo.
This is going to be an exciting match. So we saw both teams in practice. Both teams had robots that could do a lot of damage. Very deadly. That Oedo standard that we saw in the first practice match was very good at getting up close and personal, doing a lot of burst damage.
Right.
You saw CU had a sentry that was able to make its way to the center at the beginning. We'll see if they do the same.
Yeah.
And that hero with the shot timing, able to get 4 points in a row. We did not see their standard, though. It seemed to have some technical problems with a little bit of spinning action pre-match.
Yes.
So we'll see if they're able to use that one as well for a full fleet of 3. What are you hoping for and expecting out of this match?
Action.
Some action? Yeah.
Yeah.
From both sides.
I think we'll see it.
I want to see an intense close fight where the outcome is not predetermined. We don't know who's going to win until the very last second.
Right.
It'd be good to see some like swaps of who controls the center zone.
Yes. Yeah, it'd be neat to see win through eliminations rather than control of the central zone.
Yes, true.
I think that could happen this match.
That's a good point. We are seeing a lot of points racked up just from those 20 points per elimination. You're totally right. I could totally see a lot of those those bars just jumping up, in big steps because teams are getting eliminations. You want to see the win happen from an elimination, huh? Like the last 20?
That would be awesome.
Okay.
You really don't know what's going to happen until it happens.
I'm totally here for that. So, CU obviously is University of Colorado, and Oedo, Samurai, that's Kanto Union University from Japan. Big shout out for traveling all the way across the world for this. They're jet lagged and they've had to ship things really far distance. Probably things have broken, and yet they're still here competing. I mean,
absolutely.
I
Huge
could
shout
never
out to
do
them.
that. That's really impressive. So let's make a prediction. So actually, it looks like most of the predictions for the last match was for Torino. It did end in a tie. So I'm going to put that one as a tie. Glad I started adding ties to the outcomes. Let's see. So who do we have next? We've got CU versus
Oedo.
CU, Oedo, or tie. All right, the prediction is up. You've got 2 minutes to predict who will win this series. Remember, the prediction goes for the full series, so they play 2 matches. If they go 2-0, if either team gets more points than the other, they get 3 points towards their seed ranking. If it goes 1-1, both teams get 1 point towards their seed ranking. So teams are incentivized to push for a blowout. Looks like the teams probably are staged up but are not outside the field yet. Reminder, if you do want to catch some 1v1 action, our co-stream on YouTube has that. That stream is, I believe, switching off between 1v1 and 3v3. So it's more of an action-focused stream, whereas this is just the 3v3 over on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
So big shout out to our hosts, UCSD, Zoe, Michael, and William, the big three,
Yes.
the faces of the operation, but also their whole team for doing this.
Yes.
Also big shout out. Looks like Steven is on the director's table right now, and Matt is doing the audio. So remember, this stream is many, many people all at once. Remember, somebody has to carry the gimbal to show us the robots. Somebody has to set up the audio so when I scream, it doesn't completely destroy the stream. So, you know, literally when that happens, you can see Matt like reaches over and is like cranking stuff live because I'm screaming too loud. You know, the directors, they have to figure out like the dozens of different shots that we have set up, the different camera angles, the different, you know, they make these nice graphics on the bottom that shows us who's up next. We love it. And then there's also, remember, there's a second team on 1v1 that's doing the same thing. So there's a lot of people involved in AV. There's also a lot of people on the back end of the tournament, of the competition itself.
Absolutely.
There's a whole squad of like 6 or 7 people in inspection whose entire job is just to criticize the robots and make sure they're abiding to the rules. There's a team of people who do the refereeing. There's the field refs. There's the head refs at the desk. There's a referee in each driver room who watches and makes sure teams are, you know, abiding to the rules in there. Yeah, there's like 50 or something volunteers. There's people at the front desk selling merch. Go get merch, by the way. The merch is awesome. At some point, we'll grab some and bring it on stream. I see. So there is an appeal in process for the previous round, which was between Purdue and Roboto. An appeal is this is a process where teams can decide to sort of equivalent of coach's challenge in other sports, where they're able to say, hey, I didn't like the outcome of that match because something on the competition side was wrong. So they can't appeal.
Right.
They're not going to win an appeal just because they said, I lost, I want to try again. Something specific has to have happened. So for example, maybe a referee system problem that was not the fault of the teams, or like the field, setup timer was off or something. These allow the teams to basically like make sure things are fair and gives them a chance to speak up. They only get one of them, so usually when a team uses it, it means something did happen. They're not just using it to use it. Not sure which team this was from, but if it is successful, we'll replay the match in question that was challenged. So that would be the second match. So we'd go back to a 1-0 where Roboto has 1 lead or 1 point and Purdue has none. And we'd replay that. 10-15 minutes. Okay. Yeah, I think we'll go to break. It's going to be about 10 to 15 minutes while they, watch the replay and look through things. So we'll put a timer on screen. We'll use the bathroom. We'll get some food, and we'll be back for either Purdue versus Roboto if the appeal wins, or if not, it'll be CU versus Oedo Samurai. See you later. Hey, and welcome back. So, quick update. I think the appeal did not go through. We did not play another match for Roboto versus Purdue. So, that's going to not be replayed. I'm Isaac. This is Megan. We've got Shar on the directing table, and we've got Matt on the audio. Here's our AV crew. We're ready to watch the matches. Next up, we've got CU Robotics on the red team from University of Colorado Boulder. And we've got Oedo Samurai on the blue team from Kanto Union University. What you thinking, Megan?
I'm going to check the YouTube comments.
Okay. I think this is going to be a good match.
There.
I think this is going to be a really good match. We saw both of these teams in practice matches. They didn't play each other, but they both played decent, enough opponents who had robots working. And so we got to see how they play for real. And both of them were very deadly. They had really deadly robots. Kanto Union University with their standard doing a lot. And then CU with that Century and Hero hitting a lot of autonomous shots. So I think
Should be some good action.
Yeah, exactly. We're here to see action. That's today's match.
Yes. Very excited.
So I did a prediction poll earlier, and it looks like CU got 93% of the vote. Oedo got 7%. 5.3 thousand points were used on CU versus 400 on Oedo. So I think this is less indicative of of the chances, but more indicative that somebody who's a CU fan just used a ton of points. So
We're getting some comments in the
I see no replay from the previous round
YouTube
one.
as well, saying go CU.
Go CU. So I think, yeah, there was some questions about the first round of the last match. I think the stream just had some problems. So unfortunately, I don't have a replay through our apps on Twitch and YouTube. However, we do have some footage saved locally that will probably get posted at some point. So we'll get that out and about.
Yes.
2 minutes in the left in the setup period for the teams to get their robots ready for the match. Both teams fielding a full set of 3 robots. I hope we can see all 3 of them on both sides. So a full match of 6. That would be amazing. It would get really crowded in the middle.
Right. I'm a big fan of Oedo's shirts matching the purple covers to their robots.
Yep.
We have
got a nice
comment from my mom saying, we appreciate all the hard work from the many, many people who are involved and have helped to make this happen.
Yes.
So huge thank you to everybody here putting in work.
It's enough that I probably don't even know half of their names. Not because I'm, don't want to know their names, but because it
And
just
you know
takes
a
so
lot of
long
people here.
Yeah, I know a lot of people here, and it just takes that long to meet everybody because there's so many people involved.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
Yeah, and hopefully I can meet everybody. I'll go check out Inspection later, which I think is where I know the least amount of people. Anyway, it looks like both teams are still working on their robots. We've got a lot of laptops and a lot of checks filling their robots with projectiles ready for their match. Remember, this is a best of 2, so the teams will play 2 rounds. They'll play this round, and then they'll get another 3 minutes to reset their robots, get things in order, and play another. If it's a tie, there is no tiebreaker. They just split the points that they would get for their seeding down the middle. If you are a fan of either team, let's hear you in the chat. I want to, as always, our rule is we are biased towards who has the most engagement in chat. So if you want that to happen, if you want to hear the commentators sort of break the rules of commentating for your side, be overwhelmingly loud.
This might be a tricky one since there
Kanto.
is.
So we're going to, we'll give Kanto Union some leeway here because there is just a direct language barrier. This is a Japanese team. Kanto Union is out of the field. They're ready to go. CU is not quite ready. There are 6 seconds left. So they are cutting it extremely close. Oh, yeah, the clip contest. I don't know too much about the clip contest, so I can't really plug it, but I will learn and plug it soon. There is a technical timeout right before the match was going to start. Not sure what's going on there. Seems like the robots maybe are not fully connected to the server yet. Okay, so there's a clip contest that I'm going to shout out. Robot Esports Productions, also known as REP, is another channel we have. Every night, they're going to check the clips that people make for the tournament, and the best one will win a free Twitch Prime sub. So if you see an awesome moment happen on the live stream, hit that clip button. It's on both platforms. You can use that feature. And we'll look through it at the end of the day. The best one will win a prize. So. Let's see, we've got Go Kanto Union and some Japanese in the chat, so actually there is some hype. I don't see any Go CU, so it seems like Kanto Union is going to get our slight bias, despite us being current and former CU students. Kanto Union does get the bias because there was more engagement in the chat.
Split even with the YouTube.
YouTube, yeah. I put it all on red, CU easy money. Okay, so there's some CU. 3, 2, 1, bring the bots! Let's see, both teams have
First blood!
There's a first blood. It seems like the CU
Standards
Sentry
are out
died.
moving.
So Kanto Union gets 20 points. The Standard is going to move to the center as well as the CU Hero, fighting the Kanto Union Standard.
It's like the Kanto Union Hero is pushing the Sentry.
Yeah, pushing their Sentry out into view of the enemy robots. That's going to start causing some damage. The Standard of Kanto Union is going to take a little bit of damage. Now a lot of damage from the Hero. The Hero is going to level up. The Kanto Union Hero. Oh, the Standard is going to get killed by the Hero, so the Hero does get a kill. The Kanto Union Hero is kind of just holding the center point. Well, doesn't have control of the center point, but it's just going to stand there. It doesn't seem like the infantry of CU can shoot.
The Hero.
Oh, it doesn't have any ammo. The Hero's going to do some damage. There we go. 2 kills for CU. They're going to take 40 points plus another 46 from holding the center point. So now Kanto Union has the chance to come back alive and go get some more health, some more ammo.
Looks like both heroes have no ammo.
Yeah. But the Standard now from CU does have ammo, so it's going to go and get a kill. While the Hero just holds the point.
That's Standard.
So they're going to do some rotation.
Double kill!
Wow.
Oh, and both CU robots are going to leave the center point. So now they're just giving up
lost
control to Kanto Union. This is an interesting strategy.
Ambitious CU Standard
Yeah, they
heading
just wanna
over
get some
towards that
kills.
Sentry.
Now Kanto Union's going to start accruing points. They're going to get 25 points on the board.
But the CU Standard says no.
Yeah, it's going to kill the robot. So now here comes the Hero pushing up towards Kanto Union. That Sentry is active, so it might shoot back. But the Hero is going to blink it down using computer vision to hit the spinning robot. Still not quite dead. Also, that infantry from Kanto Union is still alive and could do something to contest the CU robots. The Hero from Kanto Union back alive, spinning towards the CU side of the map. And not... Okay, so they get the kill. CU wins the first round. A lot happened there.
Yeah.
Robots stopped working. The CU robot died immediately at the start of the round from it seems like a referee system problem.
Lots of ammo.
Yeah, lots of ammo was fired. Thank you so much to our field cleanup.
Yeah, this might be the most Hero ammo we've seen yet.
Yeah, so we've got 20 42mm projectiles fired. That's a lot. And 0 from Kanto Union on the Hero. Kanto Union had 28 17mm projectiles, while CU had 42 fired. That's 5 kills for CU, and they win 200-29. The teams will get 3 minutes once the timer starts to re-enter the field, work on any fixes they need to the robots. They need to reset them, put them back in the starting zone, and then they'll play another round.
Sweet.
So I think from CU, we're expecting to see, hopefully they're going to try and fix their Sentry, whatever referee problems it has. And from Kanto Union, we're hoping to see maybe their robots that drive maybe fire a little bit more. I saw that standard was shooting, so that might just be a shooter jam. If they're able to resolve that standard can put a lot of pressure on CU. We've seen what it does.
Right.
As well as having the hero. I wonder if they're going to continue maybe that strategy of pushing their sentry out towards the center. That could be an interesting way to get some extra pressure.
Of that.
Oh, yeah, if they push it all the way to the center. That could be a really interesting strategy, seeing their sentry get pushed as an extra body to sit in the center zone.
Right.
Teams continuing to get set up here. They've got 2 minutes left to resolve everything they want to resolve. Now, they do have the option of taking a timeout, but they only get one in the qualification period, so they have to use it very carefully.
Right.
So it is up to these teams, to CU and Kanto Union, if they believe they have the ability to make changes that will swing the next match in their favor, they have the option of taking a 5-minute timeout. Let's see. I see CU, UC. I see Sam Too Good. I see we don't need the sentry. I see FF55 is my goat.
I think that's in reference to you.
Is crazy. I don't know who that is.
Fortnite fan 55.
On
probably you.
On YouTube, we see Oedo and then Oedo. So I think Kanto Union continues to have our slight preference when it comes to who is the chat favorite.
What does that prediction say over on Twitch?
The prediction ended, and it's the same as before. It's like 97% to CU, because it seems like 2 CU members, Lilac and Jeremy, put a lot, all their points on red. So you'll have to see it, you know. "27 seconds left until the second round of the series starts. Will CU close it out 2-0, or will Kanto Union University bring it back for a 1-1 split of the seeding points in this round?"
There's a technical timeout. It appears
Probably Robot's not
Oedo's
connected.
hero is in the central zone.
Yeah, so we still see some Oedo members on the field. A Robot is probably not connected to the arena, is what I would guess. Usually teams are not allowed to stay extra time if their robot itself is having problems.
Right.
So this is probably a referee-related issue. There is a lot of technology that goes into that. So sometimes it just has problems. As we saw last round, one of the C robots immediately died. Usually that means the referee system disconnected. So a reminder, if you are in the venue, you can watch these matches live. There's a lot of seating. The field is very visible. Not only on stream can we see everything, but if you're sitting in the stands,
Tons of screen.
yeah, lots of screens. There's not very many obstacles on the field that will block your view.
Right.
So you can really see all the action.
You can also open up the Twitch stream and vote.
And vote. Yeah, if you're in person, you can gamble on the outcome of the match. Yes, you can. Right now, there is not one running. They happen before the start of every series. So you'll have to open it up beforehand. But yeah, we do not collect checks or cash. No
Here's
credit
some
or debit.
bribes might be.
We only accept cubes. Cubes through the Twitch stream.
Only cubes.
So if you're just joining us, I'm Megan. I'm with Isaac on the commentary.
You're Megan?
Yep. I'm
All
Megan.
right.
I'm with Isaac on the commentary booth. We've got Matt on audio and Shar on the
We'll
director's
just switch
table.
spots for today.
Yeah.
You know.
Wow, your voice is really deep.
Oh, thank you.
So yeah, I think once these teams leave the field, which they just did, we should unpause our technical timeout and get the second round of CU versus Kanto Union University started.
Sweet.
So no members are inside the arena. It's the robot zone. Hoping to see some more working robots from both teams. We'll have even more of a brawl. That was quite an exciting match last game. Both teams getting points on the board. We'll see if they can do it again. So you can see that CU sentry is spinning, so it seems to be ready to go. Unlike last game, having a bit of problems. As well as on Oedo's side, that sentry is similarly ready to go. Hopefully we'll get this started soon, folks. Sorry for the delay. This is a technical timeout, so it is the referees have decided to call this timeout so that they can resolve a technical issue. Can we get a poll started in chat? Sure. We'll do another poll.
Sounds
Okay.
like there's some action over at the 1v1 field.
I've started a poll. Is a burger a sandwich? An age-old question. You get to tell me.
Is cereal a soup?
Is cereal a soup? So, there's this place in Boulder, Colorado, where we both live, called Snarf. And it's a restaurant. I know, a great name for a restaurant. And they have two locations. They have a Snarf burger and a Snarf sandwich. And they're different places that sell different things. One of them sells a burger and one of them sells a sandwich. But many people would argue that a burger is a sandwich. So I want to hear from our audience if a burger is indeed a sandwich. Because if so, I can petition my favorite burger place to also sell sandwiches. At the sandwich place. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
burgers,
only
which
a
are
couple
sandwiches.
blocks away.
Mm-hmm.
What do the people think?
I see cereal is a soup if you use chicken stock instead of milk. That's actually a really good way to think about it. As far as
Does
is
not
burger a
sound
sandwich
delicious.
goes, we've got yes votes for 83%. That's 5 votes for yes and then 1 for no. That's 17%. So people are with me. So it looks like there is now no more technical timeout. 5 seconds left in the countdown timer. We are going to start our second round of CU versus Contra Union University. Will we see CU take the series 2-0, or will we see Contra Union University bring it back for a 1-1?
Uncrustables or dumplings.
That's
funny.
crazy. 3, 2,
1.
1. Bring the bots. So now we see the sentry from CU is going to move as well as the standard and the hero. From Kanto Union, both the hero and the standard are moving. The hero is pushing the sentry. Well, now there is a fight in the center of the map. The sentry takes the first kill on the standard of Kanto Union. So now there is no presence from Kanto Union in the center. CU has the first 27 points.
The CU standard.
The CU standard is just going to be really aggressive. This is very, very risky.
Shooting
But the payoff is pretty
sentry.
big. They can get 20 points for every kill, so there's another 20. They're about to get another 20 if they kill this sentry. There you go. Now the other 2 robots are going to hold the center. The hero's going to join them.
Union heroes hanging out in the back.
Absolutely no mercy. Looks like Kanto Union got 2 points. That, I don't think that makes any sense. Somebody's going to need to look at that. But there we go. We've got another 20 points for CU. CU is deciding to shoot the infantry, trying to get it down, even though it's in the healing zone.
The CU infantry just ran out of ammo, but it was dealing quite some damage.
Yeah. The hero is going to stay while the infantry retreats from CU. Meanwhile, Oedo Samurai is going to make a push with both robots, and their sentry has moved out into the visible zone. Looks like it's moving forwards as well. Oh no, sorry, that's the hero. The AR was incorrect. So both robots taking on CU. CU does have a max level standard, so that robot is going to be able to inflict a lot of damage very easily.
Oh.
Another kill on the Oedo Samurai hero from the hero of CU.
CU playing very aggressively.
And now the sentry is alone. Wait, is getting rammed.
Oh.
And that's a CU victory 2-0. Oedo Samurai taking some damage off of CU there. And 2 points. I wonder where those 2 points came from.
Yeah, me too. I wonder if they gained control of that central zone.
Yeah.
Right at the beginning for a second.
That's possible.
Takes 2 seconds to start gaining points, and then they keep it afterwards.
Yeah.
So maybe they were in there for just long enough.
Yeah. I think probably more likely is there is a misconfigured card on the blue side of the field.
Oh.
That's configured incorrectly. It's configured for the center point instead of for the recharge zone. We'll see if the referees take a look at that. They might be fine with it because, you know, if it's minor, it doesn't matter.
Right.
But
Yeah.
interesting.
Go buffs and a W Rishi.
W Rishi, yeah. So
So
talking about the drivers.
shout out Rishi.
So we're gonna do some field cleanup. Who's next on our list of teams?
We have SFU and Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech and SFU. That's gonna be a good match as well. Both of these teams, I think, are about evenly matched. I don't know how much we saw from them in practice. I think they might have done some 1v1 practice, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I think we saw SFU play against VT in a practice match.
Okay.
I think the Georgia Tech practice match was skipped.
Okay. So exciting stuff there. We get to see one of the teams showcase their creations for the first time on the live stream, which is exciting. While we wait, though, I'm going to showcase some of the amazing merch that we're selling at this tournament. First up, we've got a t-shirt that's for sale for $30. You can go to the front desk. Well, that's great.
Just pretend you're wearing it.
Yeah, I'm wearing it. Oh, there we go.
There, we have the logo. Also have a
There's a robot on
wireframe
it. Yeah.
design.
On the back, you can see all the teams that are competing, just like it's a concert. It's pretty awesome.
At the bottom, see our hosts, sponsors.
Oh, thank you. So here's the merch.
You also have some stickers. Wake
Stickers are
up.
$2 each.
Time for inspection.
So buying merch supports the Triton Robotics team, the local team here at UC San Diego, who are our hosts this year. Big thank you to them for hosting. Please, if you are here and are interested in one of these fine pieces of merchandise, you can go to the front desk, which is outside the ballroom, and you can get some merch for yourself. Support North American RoboMaster, support UC San Diego's RoboMaster team. It's a good cause. It's a very good cause. And the shirts look sick. The stickers are really funny. I'm a big fan.
And of course,
I've got a question. Is there a match schedule somewhere? Yes, there is. So if you go to rmsandiego.com, that's rmsandiego.com, there's a tab that has schedules for both the 3v3 and the 1v1. Now remember, these are approximate schedules. Usually they get delayed by a little bit. I think right now we're probably half an hour-ish. Yeah, we're about half an hour delayed from the actual schedule. So take it with a grain of salt, but you can see which teams are coming up before the one that you are interested in seeing. Now keep in mind, it's in a weird order. The rows and columns don't really mean anything. Just scroll around and look for the teams that you're interested in, and you'll be able to see the times that they're playing. So again, next up we've got SFU versus Georgia Tech. Expecting some big things from these teams. I do see at least on, I think this is the SFU side, 3 robots, field side. Always good to see. More robots, the better. There's both a cool factor of having a lot of robots, but also there's an in-game factor of having more pressure on the enemy team, more numbers on the center point. So let's make a prediction. So a prediction is now live on the Twitch stream, where you can gamble your cubes at a chance of getting more if you make your prediction right. Even if you're here in person, you can open your phone, open the Twitch stream, and use your cubes to get more cubes. And usually the prediction that the chats come up with is a good indicator of who's going to win. It works more often than not. So, power in numbers, very good at resolving the correct outcome, even if nobody individually knows what it is.
right.
So SFU's team name is Ascension. Very cool name. I like that one. And it starts with an A, so on a list there at the top. And then Georgia Tech's team name is Robo Rambler. So these robots are yappers. They like to ramble. Also a fan of that name. So the 3-minute setup period has begun. Teams get the chance to bring their robots onto the field. In this designated 3 minutes, they have to get the robots on. They have to get the robots ready, checked. All their systems need to be verified, connected to the field, all within 3 minutes. It's really not a lot of time. And teams can call a 5-minute timeout if they end up needing more time. Oh, yeah, and one thing I totally forgot, Georgia Tech was not able to make it last year. So it's great to have them back at RoboMaster North America. It's been 2 years since we've seen them. They're one of the OGs from the first RMNA. Really cool people on the team. And then SFU was the highest placed rookie team last year. So this is their second year. And last year, they got the highest ranking of all the rookie teams. That makes them quite scary because after, ninth place, after getting ninth place last year, that's pretty high when there's like 27 teams, playing in your bracket. So imagine what they can do with another year of development and practice and time with their robots. They could be a serious contender and threat to many, many teams in this tournament. So let's see. Our prediction has SFU at 100%. We got 230 cubes used on SFU, none on GT, and none on a tie. So if chat is right, SFU should win this match, although we have not seen Georgia Tech in a while. So who knows what they have cooked up in their lab.
Yeah, looks like they are keeping whatever they have a secret with no practice match too. Could be exciting.
Covert ops. What do you want to see from these teams, Megan?
Some action. That's what I'm here for.
What type of action are you looking for on this field?
I enjoy the shooting.
Fights. We want fights in the center of the map.
Right.
Control should be hotly contested.
I want to see one of the teams go up on the ramp and hide behind the wall from there. We haven't seen that yet today. So
that's a very good point.
It'll be exciting when that happens.
Nobody's gone up the ramp. There is some space up on that elevated ground to hide, catching people off guard.
Mm-hmm. We saw a handful of teams during calibration make it up on that ramp, and some even try to make it off. So we'll see what these teams come with today.
Yep. So no problems. Looks like the match setup period went well. After this loading bar reaches 100%, that means all the robots are connected and ready to go, and we will start the match. Three, two, one. Bring the bots. So both teams have moving robots. Georgia Tech is just going to move out without buying any ammo. They're just going to go for the sort of space control.
Like SFU also did not buy ammo.
So neither teams bought ammo, but SFU got control of the center point first.
Right.
So they're going to hold it until, correction, all the robots from SFU must leave the center point or be eliminated before Georgia Tech can gain control.
Oh, this is coming from SFU Sentry. Was taking some shots.
No, SFU doesn't have. Oh, sorry, you're right. SFU Sentry is taking some shots. Not sure where that robot is. I can't see it on the live stream.
And now SFU's Infantry has bought some ammo as well. I like the colors of that robot. It looks cool.
The white and black is pretty clean. So that standard is going to fire at the opponent's standard. Georgia Tech is going to gain control of the center point, but SFU will get the first elimination of the match, which gives them yet again control of the center point. They get another kill. Seems like the hero went offline or was destroyed, maybe by this. Oh, the sentry maybe shot the hero? Hard to tell.
SFU's hero has now bought some ammo.
So now we see SFU gets 3 kills. That gives them 4 kills. They're getting 20 points for each kill, so they're already up at 132 points, plus all the points they've gotten for controlling the center point. Georgia Tech did get a few points here. The hero from SFU is going to fire at the standard from over the elevated ground. So instead of moving out to the center zone to join the standard, it's going to stay where it can.
Aced!
Wow, this might be the fastest match we've seen.
I think so.
SFU showing great situational awareness and robot capability. The robots can drive around. The robots are both capable of shooting accurately and consistently and are able to take the lead of this match, although they left the point. So now they're not gaining any
like they might be
Any
trying that
victory
ramp
points.
with their hero.
Yeah, seems like they're pretty confident. They want to
Up
get some
and
practice
around.
in before they win the match. Oh, he's going to try and climb the wall and fire at
Not
Sander.
quite.
A little bit of accuracy. Now, Georgia Tech is actually collecting points
Yeah.
because their robot is on the center zone without any contested SFU action.
Looks like that Georgia Tech hero might have just moved as well. But it does go to SFU.
SFU does get the final kill, giving them another 20 points like he wanted, pushing it over the line.
A win by elimination.
Round goes to SFU. So now we've got another 3-minute timer for the teams to enter the field, reset their robots, get ready for the next round. SFU is going to be looking to bring a second round onto their scoreboard, which will move them from 1 to 3 points towards their seed ranking. Georgia Tech will be looking to maybe fix any problems they have with their robots and bring SFU down in the second round so that they get a point toward the seed ranking of their own. Let's see what says chat. Busy with jet engine development. Want to see him jump off the ramp real bad? Just send it. Yeah, we are yet to see a team try and drive off the elevated ground onto the floor. A lot of teams are trying it in practice and calibration.
Yeah, haven't seen it yet during the match, though.
Not yet. Thank you to all our amazing volunteers who help reset the field. Every time there's an exciting match, there's this dark side of it where there's a ton of just like random stuff on the ground that has to get picked up.
Right.
Robot parts, projectiles, golf balls.
Yeah, especially with those new speed bumps.
Yes, getting the projectiles out of the speed bumps is not easy, especially since the bumps are not parallel. They kind of alternate.
yeah.
So.
Exactly.
But the great thing is that it doesn't have to be perfect. The rules say that we can leave some projectiles on the ground. You know, robots are designed to drive over them.
Do a pretty darn good job
Oh,
at
yeah.
getting all of them.
Yeah. Yes, they do. Yeah, actually, as I say that, I don't see any on the ground, so they might have gotten all of them. So we've got 50 seconds left in the setup period. Teams have to be out of the arena by that time. So any last minute changes that they are working on are sure to be wrapped up very soon. Sometimes we see teams make really big improvements in between rounds and just come back like completely different from the first round, and I'm always amazed at how they can do that in 2 minutes. Sometimes I've done this personally, make last minute changes and all the robots break the second round. So don't do what I do. Do it the right way. Keep it the same or improve. So here we go. The start of the next match. Teams are going to start in 3, 2, 1. Bring the bots. Immediate movement from both teams. The hero of SFU and the standard of Georgia Tech are both going to move to the center, racing for control.
Standard from SFU as well.
So now it's a 2v1. SFU is going to take initial control of that point. So now they hold it until Georgia Tech can push them off.
Looks like that Georgia Tech hero was just buying ammo. Now it's moving in. While the SFU hero goes back.
Yep. So SFU, their infantry does have ammo, and it is holding the center point. So that was very quick from the driver to open the menu, buy the ammo, and move to the center zone first. Now they have control, and they're going to fire at Georgia Tech as Georgia Tech tries to approach SFU. Taking substantial damage, that hero is now down to about a third of their health.
First blood.
First blood from SFU onto the hero of Georgia Tech. Now the hero of SFU is going to body block for the standard and push up a little bit further to try and pressure Georgia Tech even more so that they cannot take any points off of SFU. That's another 20 points for SFU as they get another.
Looks like they're leaving that central zone, but the hero's going to come take that spot.
Yep. So the standard's going to get more ammo.
Georgia Tech standard is moving in as well.
So some more pressure from Georgia Tech. That robot that is low is going to contest SFU's control of the point. Now running away because they are taking a little bit of damage from SFU's standard, who has leveled up and is now level 6, I believe. The hero and the standard of SFU can fire, although that hero does not have any ammo, so the infantry on the standard is going to do all the work for those 2 kills.
Georgia Tech going back to get some more health.
And they do have an opportunity to get some more projectiles as well if they so choose. Though it does not seem like they'll opt to. They have enough. The hero coming back online in its invincibility period, so it does have the ability to escape before being vulnerable. But now invulnerable, SFU has the opportunity to take it down for another easy 20 points. SFU is at 180 points, needs 200 to win. Unless Georgia Tech can pull off a miracle, it does look like this series is going to go to SFU. 10 points left, 10 seconds left in the match. And SFU is actually going to swap out and leave the point, so I am mistaken. They will draw out this game, sit at 194. It seems like they're just going to go for some shots. And here comes the hero.
And this does go to SFU.
SFU takes both rounds of the series against Georgia Tech. Congratulations.
That's 3 points for them.
3 points towards their seed ranking. Let's take a look at the stats from this match. SFU getting 200 victory points. Doing substantially more damage, 578 versus Georgia Tech's 50, and also firing a lot more. Only getting 4 kills this time. They got a lot more last round. So Georgia Tech was able to play a little bit more defensive while also getting some shots off and doing some damage. Good strategy change. Interested to see what Georgia Tech and SFU bring next. I think SFU can probably improve what they're already doing, and Georgia Tech will probably reconvene and think about their strategy a little bit more. Now, the next match, in theory, is the McFalcons versus North Star, University of Minnesota Twin Cities. But it looks like, I don't see UBC in here. Oh, okay, so this isn't the next match. So yeah, the next match will be the McFalcons versus North Star.
They're also in Group C.
Yep, McMaster University versus
Rambler and Ascension.
University of Minnesota Twin Cities. After that would be Pacific Spirit, University of British Columbia versus Texas Aimbots, Texas A&M. But UBC is forfeiting the match. So that match will not play. Texas A&M will get the automatic 3 points towards their seed ranking, which will put them tied for first in their group because it's their first match. And yeah, so then following that will be Poly Star versus Stampede. Following that will be NYU versus UC San Diego.
Back to Group A.
And then Roboto versus CU. Then we'll have a lunch break. So I think what we can expect to see from our next 2 teams, the McFalcons and North Star, are some new interesting strategies. both of these teams have been around. They were both here last year. North Star is newer than the McFalcons. Both teams tend to bring something a little bit different each year, if I remember correctly. And so, from what I've seen in the pits, they've got some interesting-looking robots. I think this will be a close match. It's going to be whoever can get to the center first, as always, and exert the most pressure. So what's really important is once a team has entered the center zone, you cannot take away points from them without getting an elimination or forcing all of their team members off the objective.
Right.
All of their robots off the objective. And so it really is a, race at the start, and then it's on the people who do not have control of the center zone to attack and be aggressive, whereas the defending team is going to want to be a bit more passive and try to gain control as long as possible before they have to retreat and regain health.
Right. We're starting to see the technique of getting to that central point early, even without buying ammo. Teams will just rush in, gain control.
Yep. There is a lot that you can do with such a simple set of game rules, however. Many different strategies. You can not buy ammo and rush the central point and then hope your teammates come help you later. You can take your time, get your ammo at the start, use your whole fleet as one to overwhelm the other team. What we've seen some teams do as well, in the most recent match and the match before, is that even when a team has control of the center point, they'll continue to be aggressive, push up towards the enemy team's respawn zone, and actually just try and prevent them from leaving at all, which sort of gets a snowball rolling where the opponent team is not able to even make it in line of sight of the center zone, and thus not able to get any points. But one of the best parts about that last match was the points from kills. You were really excited about seeing some action. Do you think that satisfied what you were looking for?
Yes.
That's great. So let's see. We've got McFalcons versus North Star. So that's UMN. Got Master University versus UMN for a tie. So a prediction is up. You can open Twitch and make a bet on who you think is going to win the next series. If you win, you get more cubes than you put in. So there's a benefit to voting well, and that benefit is more cubes to make more predictions and spam chat with big, annoying messages.
You want some background knowledge before making your prediction? We did have some stats just come in.
So McMaster University is an older team. They started in 2022. They're a solid, consistent team that uses a spider bot style design. So they have a central core and then these legs that come out for the wheels. So it really is like a walk. It doesn't walk, but it is like a rolling spider. So that's, the most interesting design, I feel like.
North Star this is their first year in the 3v3 bracket. They were a very strong rookie last year in 1v1. So this will be interesting to see.
Yeah. So, and they're the same bracket as SFU, I believe, currently.
Yes. Both Group C.
Yeah. Battle of the Rookies. Although SFU is a second year, I believe. I think.
Do we have any predictions so far?
Let's see what people think. So far, we've got McMaster University with 100%. Somebody spent 1,000 cubes. Now, somebody is voting for Minnesota with 10 cubes. So there is some faith that both teams can pull something through. I have no idea who's going to win. This is totally up in the air. We haven't seen much from these teams. I don't think they're out on the field yet. Not sure how long that will take. Yeah, maybe we can switch to a field view if that's possible. and then we can review the rules of the game and maybe showcase what the field layout is, where things are.
Right.
In general, though, robot paintball. Think laser tag paintball. Each team has a fleet of 3 robots. They're all different. And, the goal is to win a game of paintball.
So you win by getting 200 points. You can collect points by going to that central zone with the green crown. You get 1 point per second after you've controlled that point first for 2 seconds. So to get there, you start in your starting zone, which is those red and blue corners. This is also your resupply zone. So teams start their robots there. They can buy ammo. They can regain health. Then they head towards that central zone with the crown. This is where we've seen most of the battles so far today take place, is right around this crown. Some of the obstacles, we have those walls, as well as the short walls. There's also bumps, which is that darker gray area right around the wall. And there's a ramp up to an elevated platform.
Yeah, so lots of different routes teams can take, different options for, attacking the center point. We have not seen anybody yet be able to jump up onto the elevated zone from their, starting area. And there is no ramp on that side. It's just, straight 9 inches of wall. So you have to go all the way around to the center of the field to take the ramp that is facing, that we can see from this camera, in order to get on the elevated ground, which is why we haven't seen many people use it so far. Now, there is an interesting strategy where when you want to retreat, instead of going the regular way, you go up the ramp and you drive off the cliff, and hopefully you land.
Zone.
Yes, if you land right side up, it's a very good outcome for you. Because you basically immediately start regenerating health. You can buy ammo.
Right. And you can be on that high ground and take control up there.
Yep.
For a little bit of time.
Another option is to hide behind the wall, still on the elevated high ground.
Right.
Confuse the enemy team. Maybe they don't know where you are, and then peek out at some point and catch them off guard because they're all looking the other way. I think that's something that some teams are going to try to do. I saw that in practice matches a little bit.
Right.
Hopefully we get to see that in some real matches here.
Right. So it looks like the McFalcons have also forfeited their match. We're going to go into about a 10-minute break.
Sure.
And then we'll be back with you.
Yeah. See ya.